The odds are stacked against a lot of men to become someone who ends up being remembered. However, you can turn the odds in your favor by applying as much effort as you can to that goal. And this is one of those tools that I wish I had had, because I know that that saying, you can be anything you want, that's true, but you need to fucking fight for it. What's going on, guys? I'm back. This is a video that's really near and dear to my heart. This is something that I've learned in the last maybe 2 or 3 years. It's something that I feel like if I had known, especially coming out of high school when I was a young man, maybe 19, 20, something in that age, this would have like absolutely given me a cheat code, a life hack. And this is something that's just, it's so simple. It doesn't make your life easier like the rest of these kind of gurus say, like, oh, your life's gonna be so easy, it's gonna be on easy mode if you just do this one thing. It isn't gonna make it easy, but it makes it very simple. And it's the best way to get better at something mentally. You can optimize your environment, optimize your brain so that you can get really, really good. You want to build a skill, especially a mental, psychological, cognitive skill. This is a method that I wish I had known, and it does require some sacrifice, but this is something that I absolutely want to share with you guys, because again, this is a kind of like a video series that I wish that I had when I was younger. Like I've said in my previous videos, I really do believe that if you want to become everything you can become, having this little tactic, this little way that you look at the world, this little way that you approach problems and looking to improve yourself at things, I really believe this is one of the best tools in your toolkit. So let's just jump right into it. Guys, it's the immersive environment. Immersive environment. Too many people try to do too many things all at once. They try and have their environment show so many different sides of them, which isn't necessarily going to bring them to where they want to go. It's going to show them where they've been. So let me explain that. If you walk into someone's room and you look and you see a bunch of hot girls on like posters on their wall, like old school, almost like 90s kind of shit, you see that they've began to, especially young boys, like they've began to like develop their sexuality where they're really into this stuff, right? Like, of course, that's what they want in the future. They want good looking girls by their side, all that kind of stuff. But that's not helping build them towards the next person that they want to become, the real person they want to become, the person that they must become if they can become it. I want to go into a few examples of how an immersive environment can help change the way you think and really be a cheat code to life. Okay, one example is like a language, and not everyone wants to learn a language. Anyone that knows me personally knows that I'm working on my 3rd language right now. I currently speak English, French. I haven't been doing French for a while, but I speak French, and I'm working on Japanese right now. And one of the biggest tools I've found to really getting better at doing something like this, like learning and to speak a language, understand a language, is immersing in it. And this is super true for other skills too. If you want to become a faster reader, have books open everywhere. Don't have your phone in every single room, but have books open everywhere. Your phone is like, yes, you can read on your phone, but the book, there's no distractions that come out of a book. If you want to become a better reader, even if there's a certain topic that you're reading about that you want to become more versed in, you just kind of started down the self-help sort of avenue, or you just kind of wanted to get better at this or better at that, have those things around you and immerse yourself in it. When you're watching content on YouTube, so for example, like this, let's say you want to become better, you just want to become immersed in content that makes you feel like you're destined to be something more. And I'm not necessarily saying it's a mystical way, like from God or from the universe, and I don't deny those things, but I'm just saying, if you're the kind of person that's like, I believe that my life is more than just going and working a 9-to-5 job, coming home, playing video games, masturbating, eating a bag of Cheetos and passing out. If you believe you're more than that, which I believe you are, I believe I am, I believe you are, then immerse yourself in this kind of content. My personal ritual, and I know not everybody has the luxury of doing this sort of thing, but the way I became more and more confident was by observing confident people. I would immerse myself in confident people. And that sounds bizarre, but what I would do is, like I was about to say, like, I know not everybody has this luxury. I was by 2 dear people in my life. One year I was gifted like an infrared sauna, and it's in my room. One of the rituals that I have is when I get into that infrared sauna, I'm lucky it has speakers in it, I connect my laptop to it, and I will load into the queue. I will load like 10, 15 people that I just think are confident. That has nothing to do with like any particular topic other than the way they are, their body language, that kind of stuff. It's great if they have information that they're imparting that I want to know. It could be something about, again, like fitness, it could be something about health, whatever it is. As long as they're confident people and they're speaking in a confident way, in a way that makes me feel comfortable listening to them. I don't feel nervous that they're going to mess up or anything like that. I feel confident listening to them, feel happy listening to them. I make sure that I have that stuff going into my brain. I input that, because the brain is really an input-output machine. We learn and then we output what we've learned. If you surround yourself with all these it's almost like subliminal messaging to yourself. Of course, you're doing it explicitly, but if you do these things, you can build almost any skill or any personality trait. It seems weird, but now with YouTube and our ability to consume it 24/7, 24/7, we can use it to our advantage as young men who want to leave a dent in this universe. Immerse yourself in the thing you want to be. It could be the content, the personality type, it could be the outlook on life, it could be any one of these things. But if you immerse yourself, you go into your room and what you try and do is move away all the stuff that reminds you of someone that you don't want to be, something from your past. Maybe you want to get into shape and all you have is baggy hoodies. Get rid of those fucking baggy hoodies and have in your closet, have these kinds of articles of clothing that you actually want to aspire to fit into. It really changes the game. And that might sound superficial, but you can apply this same tactic to anything. Like if you want to get better at numbers, if you want to get better at learning about math and learning about how, let's say Excel or Google Sheet works or whatever, have that as your default homepage where you're forced to look at this and it's just a little thing, but that's one little element that you can build into the rest of your immersive environment where, you have math books, you have textbooks around you, you might read specifically about famous mathematicians. And this just might sound, again, like a silly example, but just try this for 30 to 60 days. Just forget everything that isn't what you want to become and immerse in the thing that you do want to become. So of course, part of that requires, there's two halves of that, right? First of all is the sacrifice. You need to sacrifice the things that really do not serve you. So on your YouTube page, maybe just completely wipe all your subscriptions. Maybe get rid of anything that you don't think serves you. Unfollow. If you still use social media, if you're still addicted to that shit, which I believe if you use it, you're addicted to it. It's just my personal belief. If you still use that shit, unfollow everybody that isn't like the person you want to be or doesn't remind you of the person you want to be. Unfollow all that shit. And when I say immersive, that doesn't mean, 1 hour a day, I'm going to read a self-help book. Oh, I immersed for 1 hour a day. No, I mean, make your environment conducive to always being around that. So for example, let's go back to the language thing. Let's say you want to learn Spanish. Watch YouTube only in Spanish. Read only Spanish books. Do only things that are associated with language learning and specifically Spanish. And the reason I say that is because we're taking advantage of the way our brains have been built for thousands, millions of years. We have something called a mirror neuronal system, which essentially is like your brain begins to pick up on things around it and it begins to mirror those things, especially in individuals and in human beings. So there's so many thousands and millions of years of hardware, like neurochemical hardware that's gone into your being that you can harness by allowing yourself to have enough input of these things so that you eventually begin to output it. And again, no matter what you're interested in doing, even if you're interested in it's just lifting weights and you think, what's it gonna do if I watch people lifting weights online? What is that gonna do for my body? It's not gonna do anything for your body, but what it will do is make your brain, it'll make it a little bit easier for you to actually get to the gym because that's something that you're constantly reinforcing in your brain. You're constantly reinforcing it. Recognize that if someone's very eloquent around you, you have a friend that's very eloquent or maybe thinks and always uses the Socratic method or something like that, realize that the more time you spend around those people, you become more and more like that. You become a little bit more eloquent. You might notice that you start using words from a new TV show you're watching. You might think to yourself, oh, I don't say that word very often, but there's a TV show that says it all the time and now it's kind of just entered its way into your vocabulary. And the first time you recognize it was because you output it. And that's kind of a great example to illustrate that output is automatic. Trust the process of input. And the best way to get input is by an immersive environment. I would recommend changing your phone, changing your computer backgrounds, changing your room, changing all things you can to really focus on the exact thing you want to be and try and eliminate everything else. And because I believe, again, I say this in my other videos, but my belief is that the odds are stacked against a lot of men to become someone who ends up being remembered. However, you can turn the odds in your favor by applying as much effort as you can to that goal. And this is one of those tools that I wish I had because I know that saying, you can be anything you want, that's true, but you need to fucking fight for it. There's sacrifices, there are things you need to drop, get rid of those, take down those posters that just remind you of the person you were before, they don't illustrate any growth for you. Having these sexy girls on your wall, yeah, that's great, but that doesn't illustrate any growth. Have someone that you look up to or a quote that you need to remember. Like for me, it's what you can become, you must become. That's what this whole channel is about. And so I hope that you're able to take this recommendation and apply it. If you have any questions about how to apply this, or you want to have a discussion with me maybe on how, some techniques to get it into your kind of, I want to say daily routine, but just really just your lifestyle, your overall lifestyle and how to do this and what to sacrifice, what not to sacrifice, please ask me any question and I will respond to you as quickly as I can. I'll make a YouTube video to help you. But the main thing is use immersive experiences. Take advantage of the way our brains have been wired to become the thing you want to become. Force your own evolution into the person who's going to leave a dent in this universe. I'll leave you with that. And if you have any more questions, let me know. Like I said, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.